Hello, and welcome back to another episode of my Unfiltered Thoughts. Thank you for being here. Today we're talking about the importance of taking time. I listened to a podcast today that I feel like really resonated with me, and it found me at like a perfect time because I've been getting really stressed out about all this studying that I have to do because I'm at a point where I'm in between like finishing school and getting a job, and I have to study for all of these certifications. And then at a certain time, my loans will come due and I have to pay for them. It has to be like on time. So I feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself to get everything done as quickly as possible. But at the same time, I might be doing a little bit too much. And I'm sacrificing other things, like things I'm interested in, the hobbies like painting and drawing and hanging out with friends and talking to families like more often, playing the guitar, and those things are also essential to my life because they make me who I am. But in this podcast, he basically talks about how in today's modern life, the society that we live in, getting as much done as possible in the shortest amount of time is so valued. So it's always like, do this next, like get that checklist done, the checklist of life. A story that he told in the podcast illustrated this guy, and he has a potato farm or something like that, and he plants potatoes and they start to sprout, and as they sprout, the guy goes out and he's like, oh man, they're starting to sprout, let me pull these little seedlings up like a little bit more to help it grow faster. And then a wise man walks by the next day as the potato farmer is looking at his buds that have all died, and he tells him, you have mistaken haste with help. You did not help these seedlings. Nature knows how to grow. And you basically tried to like mess with the natural balance of things. So he compares that to like our own natural life, and how like our bodies know when we're not balancing things correctly. Our brains know. Like the other day, I studied for 6 hours straight, and because I'm just trying to get these certifications done as soon as possible. And it was hard, but I did it. But then the next day I was so exhausted, I could barely study for like 2 or 3 hours. And like I was so frustrated with myself. And even today, like studying, like it's almost like I studied so much that my brain, just every time I try to sit down and study, it just like shuts off. And so this time, instead of like pushing myself to keep studying, I went for a walk, and then I found that podcast. And I'm like, maybe I'm rushing things a little bit too much. Maybe I'm trying to push myself to grow and master these skills in a way that's not natural to how it's supposed to be. In the podcast, he also talks about how, spring comes when spring comes, winter comes when winter is supposed to come. The natural order of the world, it doesn't move at a speed any faster than what is required for it to allow everything around it to nourish and be as it's supposed to be. So when I'm here trying to accelerate everything, I'm not taking the time to actually like grasp the understanding. And another example he said was we value getting things done really fast. We also value having all of these different skills. I feel like I really like felt this when he said this, is people today, they want to master a skill by tomorrow. They want to sit down and do something for an hour or 5 hours or however long and become the best at this like singular thing. Like maybe I want to pick up the guitar and do it for 30 days and I want to be the best at it. And if I'm not the best at it, then I feel like I failed. But like to really master something and to actually truly learn it and grasp it, It takes time, and you can't rush those things. Those things come by doing like your small part every single day, consistently, being vigilant with it, but not pushing it too far to the point where you get exhausted and then you stop doing it. So I thought that was a really interesting thought. Of course, podcast always is better, but I feel like you could get the gist of it from just watching this video too. Well, kind of. I would still say go watch or listen to the podcast, because he had a lot of other really good things to say, and he explains it better, I feel like, than I do. But basically, you know, when you take the time and you don't rush and try to accelerate your learning, that's when like the real learning actually happens. Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna edit anything in this series, but I had to cut out a part because I just zoned out like so hard thinking about like all this stuff. And also because I'm just, again, exhausted from studying so much. But I'm grateful to be able to study and to be on the path that I'm on. And in the future, I'm going to slow down a little bit, pace myself, really actually understand every single individual concept so I can be the best pilot and aircraft mechanic that I can possibly be. Trying to force myself to finish everything in a week or 2 weeks and just get the certificate. I feel like that's just so, it goes against everything. Even just thinking it now, like my body just completely is like repulsed at that idea. Like, this is my life. I don't want to rush through my life. I want to enjoy every single moment of it, including the studying and the learning and the process that goes with that part. In the podcast, he also talks about how, you know, our body even has like its own natural rhythms. You know, our hunger cues, our breathing, our heartbeat, our sleep, all of that goes at its own pace. You can't rush it. You know, you can't eat lunch for tomorrow. When you're hungry tomorrow, then you'll eat, you know? He said that every process has its own natural pace, and you can't rush it. You know, just how you can't rush like a flower that's growing. If you give it sun and you give it water every day, just a little bit though, you can't pour a whole gallon in there and be like, oh, it's gonna grow super fast now. It grows at its own pace. And so the name of the podcast is living your life at your own pace. So, you know, I feel like that's a really important thing for everyone. I feel like we get told it like right before you graduate high school. Maybe it's like, oh, don't compare yourself to others. Everyone like lives their life at their own pace. But I don't feel like it's emphasized enough. I feel like it's just something people say, but they don't actually like really fully grasp it, and how it can affect you when you do start to like fall into that trap of like modern society and just think in your head like go, go, go. Like you're always working for the next big thing, but you're never actually enjoying the moments that get you there. You know, like I can't just like sit here in my own life and be like, all right, after I do this, I'm gonna get a job. After I do that job, I'm gonna get a promotion. After I get that promotion, I'm gonna move here. After I do that, you know, at that point, I'm never gonna have a satisfactory life. When I'm, you know, I say, you know, so many times. I just realized I probably said that like 10 times in the past 5 minutes. Very sorry if you noticed that or if you're annoyed. But all said and done, living your life at your own pace is very important. Not living at a pace that was never meant for humans to be living at. And I feel like going against the norms and really truly enjoying every single moment is such a cool thing. You know, I want to live my life fully. I hope everyone wants to live their lives fully. And I think one more step to get to that point is to live my life at my own pace. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm curious what everyone thinks about that. Listen to the podcast if you have time. It's only 30 minutes. And thank you for being here.